Hello, guys. This is She's Got Muscles, the podcast for girls with gains. Now, I know it's been a hot minute since we've had an episode. Labor Day happened, and then we kind of took an extra week off, so we apologize for that, but we're ready to roll back. For any new listeners, my name is Z, and then we have
Nadia.
Nadia. So, we are both bikini competitors. We both work in the fitness industry. Just for a little background, we do both have podcasts specifically about us. That's a little bit more personal, a little bit more detailed. So if you guys want to check those out, make sure you do. So this podcast, we do have just a couple questions from when we opened up our social media for Q&A questions. And then after we answer those questions, what are we going to talk about, Nadia?
We want to talk about rest day.
Rest. We're going to talk about rest. We're going to talk about recovery, importance, what you can do, all of that. So
Yes.
let us go into the first question. So our first question here, what advice can you give for lifting and not hurting your back? And this was sent by Maria
Lewis, actually, she's family, I think.
Oh,
I don't know
love
her.
it.
Yes.
Okay, so Nadia, what advice would you give somebody to how to lift and not hurt their lower back? I hear this issue all the time.
Form. So a lot of times we get excited about lifting and we have that, what's that word that I'm looking? Ego lifting.
Yeah.
So you see all those people on Instagram, all those people on social media, and they say the heavier you're lifting, the better it's going to be, but not necessarily. It's all muscle connection.
Yeah.
So whenever you're doing a exercise, you're gonna use your back like a compact movement, like an RDL or a deadlift or a squat. Make sure you be mindful on how much weight are you lifting. And it's not how much are you lifting, it's your form.
Form over everything. Yeah.
Form over everything. If you do 5 reps, very good, but you're concentrating on the body part that you're working, you're not going to hurt your back. If your back start hurting, it's probably because you're doing the movement wrong, and you got to stop right there and start correcting your form.
Yeah.
What else do you think we can add to that?
Well, so when I was still horseback riding, I did have a major back injury, which I still have here and there, flare up. So I know a lot of people have similar situations, and I know for me, RDLs and good mornings are where I really have to make sure that I'm focusing, or I do feel it in my lower back because I do have those lower back
See,
issues.
mine is hyperextensions.
Yeah, hyperextensions too. But what I found is I have to really engage my core work. And before I do a movement, making sure I'm tucking my belly button into my spine, I'm not arching the back, tilting my pelvis out. I'm making sure that my pelvis is tucked in, my core is engaged before doing that movement, which is form, but just being really aware of keeping my core stable. Because I learned if you have a really weak core, the first thing that compensates is your back. So if you're not working on your core, not being engaged in your core, your back is going to take over. And that's also if you have back issues and stuff like that, that's where you're getting a lot of that pain too, because you're overusing it instead of using your core.
Can I add to that about core? Because a lot of people think by doing core it's just to get abs. It's going to help you to lift better.
Yes. And my favorite core exercises aren't sit-ups or crunches. I love a plank. I love the bird dogs, the dead bugs, hollow body hold stuff. That was that inner core.
Yes.
The stabilization.
Even when your core is engaged, you're going to be able to walk more straight.
Yes.
More posture is everything to your back too. Whenever you're driving, right now I'm not sitting right because I'm trying to get my closer to the mic. But even when we're sitting in the chair, all that matters.
Yeah. Keeping straight and all of that. So that for sure was a huge difference. And like you said, just starting light, making sure form is beautiful, and working up little bits, because I've also caught myself, especially on RDLs, I want to do a lot of weight, and then I feel it in my back, and that's an indication for me to maybe go down a little bit before I go back to that weight.
We gotta stop. Honestly, you will have better muscle connection whenever you slow down.
Yeah.
And you go slow and be mindful what you're doing.
Yeah.
And with time, you want to become a power lifter. Load that thing up.
Yeah. When you're, within reason, obviously.
Within reasons.
But Yes, I think that is really great.
It's a great question.
But
It's
that's
a great question, yeah.
I know I hear that question a lot too. So a lot of people are probably wondering. And then our next question, we have our very own little Gwen. So she's our
Our baby. Hi, Gwen.
She, for the people who don't know who Gwen is, she is our little baby bodybuilder. She's going to compete in her first show coming in springtime.
Pretty sure she's doing Kansas City, which is May.
Yeah, we're just going to air out all of her
Yeah.
personal bodybuilding information on the internet.
Sorry, Gwen, but we love her.
Right.
Eventually, they're going to meet her.
Yeah.
And we start having guests. So
Yeah, absolutely. But so she sent in this question. She says, how to stay on track with your diet.
prepare. How I do is the Sundays. Sundays for me are religiously. Sundays you will not go see me doing anything else from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. I know my macros. I know how much food to buy. I know what I need to cook. If you prepare that on Sunday, box all your foods, breakfast, dinners, lunches, whatever snacks, put it in your fridge, write little paper what times you need to eat it. The next day, you just put it in your bag
Yeah.
and just grab it. That's the only thing you need to do. Really, it's not that hard. People make this too hard.
Yeah. My favorite quote, and a quote I hear often when it comes to like meal prepping, is it's fail to prepare, prepare to fail. So
Perfect.
if I know, so
My gosh, inspiration right now.
and so I did macros for a long time, and I was always the most successful in my macros when I did just what you said. At least the night before, I would have everything ready to go. Even if it wasn't like made up, I knew exactly what I was going to eat, how, like everything. Most of it was either made up or it was like easy stuff that I knew I could grab and go, but it was already set in my Fitness Pal or whatever, and it was done.
even not just your food, your vitamins, your water. Like I put my gallon of water the night before in the fridge. My vitamins are already set up for the week. Even my clothes I'm prepared the night before. This is the way you're not stressing out. Mondays, everybody hates Mondays.
Yes.
Monday doesn't need to be even more stressful.
Yeah. So prepare, like you said, you can either prepare like Nadia does, you know, on Sundays for the whole week, or you can prepare at least the night before. And you brought up the point how you prep your meal, you prep your vitamins, you prep your water, you prep
My wardrobe.
your wardrobe. I read something a while back, and we talked about it a little bit. It's called decision fatigue.
Yeah.
So when you, especially people who have jobs like teaching, coaching, medical field stuff where you're constantly having to make quick decision. I mean, almost every job you have to make constantly making decisions and choices, and just throughout the day with your kids.
You don't
whatever.
want to think about, oh, I gotta cook my food at like 7 p.m. No.
Yes.
Grab it, it's in the fridge, put it in the microwave, and eat it.
Yeah.
Simple like this.
When you take away extra decisions in your day, like planning your outfit the night before, or having your food ready to go, you're actually going to be less stressed throughout the day, because you're going to have your work that's going to have all those decisions. Then you're going to be able to come home and just kind of be put on autopilot for a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's always a really good reason on just staying in a consistent routine.
Same with the workouts. Like if you don't have a coach and you're just doing your own workouts, plan your week.
Yes.
Don't just go and guess what you're gonna do the next day. I see a lot of people at the gym like, what are you gonna hit today? Oh well, I don't know. And then they're here for 3 hours, 4 hours. You don't need to be here that long.
No.
Just gotta have your stuff right down. You have a book.
Yes. So I journal all my workouts. I have what day it's going to be, what I'm going to hit, and then I have all the workouts. And then I write how much weight I did for how many reps. And then we've talked about progressive overload in the podcast before, but then I can go back and I make little notes like this was really easy. So that I know, next week when I do the same workout, I need to go up a little bit in weight. Or maybe I write a note that says, wow, I was struggling. So now I know I have to either go down in weight and go back on my form, or just stay at that weight for a longer time period.
That's tracking your progress.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the scale.
Yeah.
It's tracking your progress is exactly what we're saying. Prepare your food, prepare your workouts, prepare your wardrobe. If you like to read, put your book in your backpack or in your purse or whatever you're carrying. Make a schedule. For this time to this time, I'm going to go to the office and work, whatever you do for living or outside, I don't know. and this time I'm going to dedicate it for myself.
Yeah, preparation, planning, setting stuff up in advance, that's going to be the best way to answer your question, Gwen.
When
And it's also nice, especially if you're talking more about like making healthier choices, you have to also kind of have a support system.
Yeah.
I know it's always easier for me to stay on my meal plan or my macros when I'm surrounded by people who are doing the same thing, because you don't have people constantly asking you to go out or, you know, to drink or eat out, or you have, like I have you, we have our meals together. I mean, yesterday we had our meals together,
Yeah,
and we both microwaved it, and we sat down, we had a great time.
conversation,
Yeah. So having people who are maybe on a similar journey or finding a support system, whether it's online on Facebook groups, chat groups.
It's what we did last Sunday. Last Sunday, me and C went to. She get a phone call.
Oh, phone call. It was spam. So sorry.
Last Sunday, we went and decided to go do a 3-body scan.
Yes, we got a 3D body scan.
And then after that, we went and grabbed some coffee. We did a little shopping. We had sushi.
Yeah.
To us, that is like a healthy lifestyle.
Yes.
We're doing it during the day. Don't go. We even feed a nap. We even went home and take a nap.
We did.
Yes.
We did.
Yes. Yeah. So whenever you want to change your lifestyle, it's not just eating healthy or just doing workouts. It's everything that goes together. Finding the right circle of friends, of support, doing the right choices, you know, like maybe not out to drinking every Friday and Saturday. For me, it takes 3-4 business days.
Days. Please hold. While
I
recover.
can't, I don't know. The people that do it and they go back on Monday like nothing. I can't do it. I will be dragging.
Same. Those were all the questions we got. We will do more of these definitely in the future. So if you have a question, you don't even have to wait for a Q&A day. If you have any questions you want to send in to us, you can DM us on any of our social medias. You can email us at choosegotmuscles@gmail.com. So, you know, don't be afraid. We'll either cover it in a podcast or we'll even just message you directly with an answer. So no problem on that.
Yes.
But now we're going to go into our kind of like baby topic of the day. Although it's our baby topic, it is definitely
huge.
It's huge. So recovery, rest, all of that.
So, example, whenever we start our journey at the gym, a lot of us and a lot of you guys get obsessed with the gym.
Yes.
Like
the
an
serious
addiction,
gym
addiction. You feel like if you don't take a rest day, you're not going to see any progress. It's very important to take a rest day. Why is that, C?
So when you are working out, technically you are breaking down the muscle fibers in hopes that when you are in a recovery period, and now your recovery periods aren't just like a day of not doing anything, it also incorporates your sleep. So when you're in a recovery period, your muscles are repairing that damage, and because they were introduced to a certain type of stimulus, they're going to rebuild in order to meet that same stimulus better. So that's where you get the muscle growth, is because they're adding to the muscle fibers. And there's a lot more, you know, specific science that we could get into for that. But the thing is, you break down your muscles in the gym, your recovery is where they build back up. And hopefully, if you're on a muscle gaining or, you know, a bodybuilding journey or anything, you're hoping that they grow a little bit bigger and nicer. So
that's why sleeping is so important.
Yes.
Like you mentioned sleeping. I don't know, you guys notice that whenever you get a good night's sleep, you get out with your stomach more flat and
Your
you
body
feel like
just
more
feels
great. Versus whenever you only have 4 hours of sleep, you feel grouchy, you're tired, you feel like any energy, you feel swollen.
you do feel swollen.
I feel swollen every time. So like
Yes.
that's why you're never gonna catch us in the middle of the night. We're gonna be in bed.
Yeah, I go to bed because I wake up at 3:15 for my job, because I am a fitness instructor and I do the early morning classes and I love it. But I have a really early wake up call. I go to bed at 6 p.m. And sometimes if I have stuff to do later in the evening, because obviously we all can't just like go to bed at 6 p.m. and like be dead to the world, I set an alarm for like 8:30 because I do have a couple things I need to do.
Yeah.
But then I go right back to bed. So I call it my pre-bed nap.
Your
my pre-bedtime nap. And then with
Yeah.
that, and then the sleep that I get, I get a good 8 hours. And I know when I get that 8 hours, I'm on top of the world. When I don't,
I know a lot of people have different type of jobs. Like some people are nurses and work, they are policemen and stuff like that. Just create that routine for yourself. Be selfish about your rest time. Be
yes.
extremely selfish. If you need to get at least 6 to 7 hours, you cannot get the 8.
Yeah. 6 to 7 is minimum, but 8 is definitely
And this is more
preferable.
like a health issue, like a more health thing.
And a big thing too, if it is possible, if your job allows it, you actually want to stay very consistent with your bedtime and your wake time. We have something called a circadian rhythm, which again could go deeper into that science, but the basic of your circadian rhythm is your body is kind of like on a schedule. And if you go to bed at a certain time, it wants you to keep going to bed at that same time. So if you go to bed at 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, but then on the weekends you're staying up at midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., it's going to throw off that rhythm. And you're also not going to feel, even if you get like 10, 12 hours of sleep on the weekend, because it's not in that same window,
Yeah.
your body's not going to feel as good as it
No.
could.
And quit for my weight loss people, they just concentrate that if you don't get a good night's sleep or you don't sleep good, you're actually gonna gain weight.
Yes.
Sadly, you don't get enough sleep, you will gain weight.
Yeah, because of the stress on your body. I tell a lot of my people, a lot of them, because I work with majority women,
Yeah.
and a lot of them have grown up in the 90s. And, they grew up in the time where the smaller you were,
I'm in the front 80s, okay?
Yeah, stop it.
The 90s.
But the smaller you were, the more attractive you were. And how you got to that. I mean, how many starvation diets were there in the 90s and
It
early
was
2000s?
insane.
It was the only diet, was
Insane.
the starvation diet, where you were eating
Nothing.
maybe 1,000 calories, maybe. So I have a lot of ladies who that's how they learned was an acceptable form of losing weight. They come to me and I give them the most they've ever eaten in their entire life. And I try to explain to them, when you put your body in a deficit that is now less than your basal metabolic rate, which is what your body just burns at rest, the calories your body burns just being a body, your body is now in this fight or flight mode.
Yeah.
When you're in that fight or flight mode, you have your muscles, which is an accessory, and then you have your fat, which is your main source of storage.
Yeah.
When you're in fight or flight and your body is in that such high stress mode, what is it going to get rid of first? Its main storage or its accessory? It's going to get rid of its accessory before it even touches the storage, because it doesn't know when its next nutritious, like volume filled meal will be in order just to sustain its
And
natural.
it's huge because then you're going to be tired, you're going to be cranky, you're going to be stressed out, you're going to be depressed, you're going to start showing your face, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
You want to eat, you want to get a good night's sleep, you want to do the proper workouts.
Yeah. And you need to, you have to eat enough in order for your body not to be under a whole lot of stress. You have to sleep enough.
Yeah.
Because the same thing, if you're not getting enough sleep, your body isn't getting that time
I
to recover.
really don't like the word diet. I like
No.
the word healthy habits with food.
Yeah, healthy habits with food. I like that a lot. Speaking on healthy habits with food, shameless plug, there is a lady named Celeste, and she, I think it's Rain Turks is her last name. I've met this wonderful being in person. She also has a podcast. She interviews pros, but she has a free, 100% free, 8-day food relationship program. I recommend it to anybody that I see. I've done this program online. I've done this program in person, and I've taken different
I
things
see
away
people
from it.
scared of eating. Like
Yes.
it's scared. Like what kind of energy you're using at the gym if you're not eating?
Yes. So
You
this
know-
program sends you a video every day, which I did mine a week. It just sends you it into your email, 100% free. A lot of journaling involved, but it helps with your relationship with food. So if you are one of those people who are struggling with that mindset about not wanting to eat or not eating enough, I would 100% recommend doing something like that, especially since it's free.
Yes, especially everything being so expensive right now.
Yeah.
That I'll take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we talked about sleep. We talked a little bit about food kind of within our sleep. Other forms of recovery that you could do like at home. Other than just, we all know, taking a rest day, which plan your rest days. Going back on the planning situation. If you plan that rest day, into your normal weekly routine and you know Sundays is the day that you do not go to the gym and you rest and you spend time with your family, make sure every Sunday that's what you do.
Yes, yes. I mean, stretching.
Stretching. I am not a bendy person whatsoever, and
We have learned that maybe taking a yoga class here and there has been beneficial for us, especially because we do bodybuilding and we do put our bodies through a lot.
we're fortunate if a lot of the times if you're a part of a gym, a commercial gym, you have a 50% chance of them offering free fitness classes.
Yeah.
We're lucky enough that we get free yoga.
We get free yoga, so it's nice. So if
So
anybody,
check that out.
yeah, a lot of the people that come here, they have a lot of those free classes. So come and check it out.
Yeah, try it once. Yoga is really good. Add stretching, and man, it is hard.
They think it's so easy. It's hard.
It is really hard. It uses a lot of muscles that you wouldn't think you have, but it is definitely a good stretch. And then pausing as we see our little baby bodybuilder coming in. I wonder if she's gonna come in.
I think the door is
we
locked.
it. We'll have you guys meet. We could definitely.
You want me to open the door?
That's okay.
Okay.
We'll have to do a special interview with Miss Gwen.
Yeah.
For sure. But yoga is one like stretching. What else can you do for recovery? Like at home?
I mean, at home I usually take a bath and just do anything.
Epsom salts. Put
I'm so
Epsom salts in your bath. That
Yeah.
helps. The magnesium also helps with digestion, so it gets absorbed in the skin. So it helps with soreness as well as digestion. Foam rolling is really, really good. You can get a cheap foam roller at like Walmart
I got
or
one.
something.
I have one at the house. I bought one for like $20.
Yeah,
Nothing fancy, but gets the job done.
just stretch, foam roll your muscles. Some people have those massage guns, which I know they're expensive.
I got one of those too.
Or like those, you can get like, some people have those little like hard lacrosse ball stuff that they do like their feet with.
I used to be terrible. I would not take a rest day. I would even still come to the gym and walk in the treadmill. I'm still doing that.
I would have to say that just if you're gonna do a rest day and you're going to do anything because you're like you're still in the process of learning not to become addicted to the gym. I mean, probably not come to the gym to be on the treadmill, but maybe go take a walk outside,
Yeah.
breathe in the fresh air. Or I mean, if it is snowing like 50 feet or whatever, and you need to go to the gym to feel like you've done something, or just to get away from the kids. Sometimes people have kids at home and then just need to be in an environment where they're not there. You
I'm
can
into that. Oh my.
download a show on Netflix or a movie on Netflix or whatever streaming platform you have or YouTube. I mean, pop it up. If you're just doing a nice, easy pace, you're not like running or sprinting or inclining, and you're just leisurely walking for a couple minutes while you watch your show in peace and quiet, I would consider that a good rest.
Yeah. Like it's really whatever rest they feel like is good for you means don't touch the weights.
No.
Don't touch the weights.
Don't touch the weights. Don't go to your boot camp classes.
No.
Really just focus on, and maybe you can even schedule like that your rest days is when you go pick out a new book to read, or you watch a show with your significant other or your friends, or
I'm
you meet a friend.
a legit couch potato a lot of times.
I'm gonna take a rest day. I'm gonna take a rest day.
Yeah, we got those delicious feet down now.
Yeah. And segueing into, I know we talked about easy at-home things to do for rest. My favorite, let's talk about some bougie rest and recovery items.
Okay, let's hear this.
Okay, so I am thankfully, and I am a thankful person that I have a household where we make enough and we don't have kids, which is also a huge plus in the financial department. But I do make sure that I set aside myself time and money I go to the chiropractor 2 times a month, which has been great. She also does like scraping, which she takes like a metal tool and she goes into the muscles. It's like
I need to do that so bad.
Really good.
Yeah.
She'll find my trigger points she found a trigger point in my right track that we're going to be starting to work on that's impeding my shoulder and my shoulder mobility. So she's helping me with that. She's just making sure that I'm in line. And then I also get a massage and or cupping once a month.
Bougie.
I have just gotten to this point, and eventually you guys will find on your journey as well.
Let me say something about this, because a lot of times people say they can afford it. You can if you want to. Maybe not do the nails. Maybe we take the Botox off for a minute, or the lip fillers.
Yeah.
That's also
Or
expensive.
the coffees.
Or the coffees,
find
yeah.
ways, if you're, let's say you're, a lot of people will trade in the industry. Like if you're a hairdresser, or, maybe you can trade a service for a service. Go to your massage therapist, or find, people who are learning or starting out.
Yeah, investing in yourself is the best investment you will ever do in your life. It's better than buying a car. It's better than buying a house. Invest in your body.
And you can ask family and friends to
Yeah.
help out. Like, hey guys, instead of giving me like a birthday gift that I may or may not want, if you want to get me gift cards to this place, or
They're gonna think you're crazy, but he's fine. It's a
that's
good
what I
cra-
do with my family.
It's a good crazy.
It is. But I've just learned going through this journey. I mean, you spend all of this time in the gym every single day you're here. You're spending 1 to 2 hours at the gym, 4 to 5 days a week. And you're spending all this time on your body. You're getting your nutrition down. You're getting your workouts down. But now you don't want to take care of it with recovery and rest.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically like getting a new toy and just like throwing it away.
You just warm him out. You're not taking care of it.
Yeah, it's like I'm trying to think of a good example. Like if you get, people are really into these like shoes, like the sneakers,
Yeah.
I used to like substitute teach. So like I would have these kids who would like creasing their shoes was like the end of the world, like creasing the toes. So when they got a new pair of shoes, they would clean them. They would make sure that they would walk a certain way or put stuff in it so that it wouldn't crease.
This is stressful.
Yeah. So there's probably a better example, but that's just what's coming to my
Yeah.
brain. I mean, you can think of your body as the same way. You've invested all this time, effort, money into it with gym, supplements, food. If you're not going to take care of it and you're just going to go crease it and get it dirty, why did you get it in the first place?
I mean, she got a point. Very much true, yeah.
I mean, we're still using it, but we're just
Yeah.
making sure that we get as much life out of it as possible.
Yes. No. Care your body, guys. Take the rest day.
Yeah.
Your progress is not going to go away from taking one day off. And actually, it's more recommended like 2 days off.
1 to 2 days is definitely recommended for rest days. But I mean, I'll try to take Epsom salt baths as much as I can. You don't have to do that just once or twice a day.
Yeah.
You can stretch every single day. Stretch before your workout, stretch after your workout if you don't want to do it at home. There's like little like bedtime yoga videos. Like it doesn't have to take like an hour or
Yeah.
two. It can take 5-10 minutes. Stretching before your workout also helps prevent injury.
Yeah. My hips are been hurting. Yeah. I have hip problems. We're working
We
on
all
it.
have problems.
We all have problems. True story.
So that is our podcast today. I think we
Yes.
covered a really good array of things. Guys, if you want us to, focus on a certain topic or have certain questions, please feel free to reach out to us. I think our next podcast, we're going to dive a little bit into supplements. And not all the vitamins because we would be here for like 5 hours.
But
but
just the main ones.
the ones you hear often. So we'll cover creatine,
Glutamine,
pre-workout,
pre-workout, and protein.
and BCAAs and EAAs.
Yeah.
So you probably hear that thrown around in your journey. So we're going to cover.
We're like, what is this? What are those? When do I take it? How many scoops? That type of thing.
Yeah. So we will go over those next week. So be sure to tune in. Make sure you like, subscribe. We are on YouTube,
Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
and social media platforms. We are Twitter,
Twitter,
TikTok, in Instagram. It's you to consider that too.
Yeah. YouTube could also be considered. So make sure you like, listen to us, recommend us to your friends, all the stuff. If any of you guys are interested in coaching or posing opportunities, please email us and we'll get back to you. But this was She's Got Muscles, the podcast for girls with gains, and have a wonderful rest of your week, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.